Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here on StatSalt.com on the YouTube channel. Before we get into the play today, we will recap what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, we ended up going 1-2 as we had to sweat out a double overtime loss with the Milwaukee Bucks in the winners and whiners page for the deep three selections. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. Did not have a great last 2 days, but we look to bounce back here. I will admit, though, the baseball card is limited as half of the lines, no exaggeration, have not even been uploaded yet, but we will be covering the MLB leans here. The tennis pick has been uploaded a couple hours ago, and I would recommend checking that out as we have been red hot in tennis over the last week or so. But with that being said, we will dive into the plays here with the leans. Now, before I get into it, the main game, of course, is between the Golden State Warriors and the Portland Trail Blazers. We covered that game in the Winners and Whiners page, so I'd recommend checking that out if you want that selection on that game. But with that being said, since there is no NHL because the Bruins swept the Carolina Hurricanes about a week ago, we are stuck with baseball leans. So that is the game that is the main focus of this video. And we'll start out by talking about the Boston Red Sox as they will travel to Toronto to take on the Toronto Blue Jays in this game. Currently, the line for the Red Sox is available at roughly -200, and the over/under is at -9, is at 9.5, I should say. The matchup is between David Price and Edwin Jackson. Fun fact: Edwin Jackson did set the MLB record for most teams he's ever pitched on, as he has pitched on roughly 13 teams. Shockingly, that he is still in the MLB. He did throw a no-hitter with Diamondbacks roughly 5 years ago, but props to him for staying around. Having said that, I like the Red Sox here winning this game relatively easily. Red Sox coming off a nice win, avoiding the sweep against the Astros. Toronto did win yesterday, but the Red Sox are a different animal than the Chicago White Sox, and we believe that Price will pitch well here, and Edwin Jackson should struggle a little bit against the potent Red Sox lineup, so we will be leaning to the Red Sox and the over 9.5 in that game. Moving on, you have the Cleveland Indians against the Oakland A's with Carrasco versus Anderson. I will lean to Carrasco here, and the Indians are roughly -165 against Oakland. Oakland had a solid weekend, but Cleveland just had a deal with the Orioles. They ended up winning 10-0 yesterday, won pretty easily, and Carrasco is coming into this game after throwing 7 scoreless innings. We believe Carrasco is the better pitcher between these two, and we think that the Indians should be able to get the job done at home. So we will lean to the Indians at -170 and the over in that game as well. Moving on, Yankees and Baltimore, that is one plays on the deep three, so check that one. I'll be skipping that for now. Moving on, you have the Nats versus the Mets. You have Corbin versus the Mets over the weekend by the Marlins, as embarrassing as that sounds. And somehow, Mickey Callaway has not been fired yet as the Mets manager. If you get swept by the Marlins at any point, you should be fired on the spot. But he still has his job, and I personally do not trust the Mets in that spot. So I will be leaning to the Nationals, whatever line that is, at -1.5 or on the regular money line, as the Mets offense has gone ice cold over the last 2 games, and we think that Corbin is a very solid pitcher, and we think that the Nationals are the right side there, so we'll be leaning to the Nationals in that game. Moving on, you have the matchup between the Mariners and the Rangers. Totals at 11, and the money line is currently at -140. Rangers open up at -160, so money has cutters. I will Mariners money line at a plus price here. The Rangers just lost series to the Cardinals over the weekend, where Seattle just won their last game against the Twins. Leak has been decent this year. Miners pretty good, but we definitely think this game will go over the 11, as Seattle is still the #1 over team in all of baseball, and the Rangers in Arlington are always a very solid team. Miner not pitched that well in his last start, so we will be leaning to the over Mariners plus that one. Moving on, you have the Phillies and the Cubs with Darvish against Arrieta. I will be leaning to the Phillies in that one, as they had a very solid weekend against the Rockies. Harper decided to go deep, as I said he would yesterday, I should say, including the game 4. So Harper's starting to heat up. Arrieta is definitely the best Darvish. Darvish did pitch well in his last start, but he's had issues with his command. It opened up -135 on the Cubs, so the money line down to -130, so money has come in on the Phillies. Arrieta's great for against former revenge. I will lean to the Phillies in this game at a plus price. Moving on, for the next 3 games I will be mentioning, there is no line available, so we will be talking about it briefly. The White Sox, the pitcher has not been decided, but Houston will be using Peacock. I will be leaning to Houston on the team total over, as well as just winning the game outright. Houston, their last game, but they did win the series over the weekend against the Red Sox. And the White Sox have not looked great. They did lose 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays, and we think that the Astros are one of the hottest teams in baseball. So we will be siding with the Astros in that one, whatever that line may be. Moving on, you have the Giants versus the Braves with Soroka versus Suarez, and the game is in San Francisco. Lean to the Braves there. They did lose an extra innings to the Brewers yesterday, but they have looked a lot. Yeah, they have looked pretty solid so far the last couple of weeks, especially with Riley now in the lineup to back up Freeman, Cunha, as well as Albies. We think that the Braves are the better team. The Giants are terrible. I don't care who's at home, and we will be leaning to the Braves in that one. Moving on, you have the Twins and the Angels. That game, even though there isn't a line available, that is one of the plays in the deep 3, and we recommend checking that out at Winners and Winers. Moving on, you have the final game between the Diamondbacks and the Padres with Weaver versus Paddock. I will lean to the Padres here at roughly minus 140. Paddock did not pitch that well against the Dodgers, and we believe he will bounce back quite nicely. Diamondbacks have looked good this season, but they are significantly better at home than on the road with Weaver on the mound, and we simply think that this game will lead to a Padres victory, and we also lean to the under 7.5 here at Petco Park. Having said that, those are all the leans for the MLB. But before we conclude today's video, we will be recommending our sponsor once again with the PointsBet Sportsbook here in New Jersey. Some of the deals they have, as I mentioned before, you get up to 2 risk-free bets of up to $1,000 each. The NBA playoffs, if you do a money line bet and your team is up after 3 quarters, you get paid out instantly, and you do not have to worry about sweating out any plays in the 4th quarter. And with the NHL playoffs, the team you bet on is up by 2 goals. You win automatically, and you don't have to worry about sweating out the final finish. So if you had the Blues today, for example, they did win 5-0, you could have cashed your winning ticket in roughly the 2nd period instead of having to wait an extra hour in order to cash out your bet. But that's going to do it for this installment of Scott Selections here with StatSalt.com, and good luck to all of you and your respective bets here on Monday, May 20th.